I have to say, I'm excited for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order because I didn't think a game like this was possible under Electronic Arts. Now, even though I personally am excited, many are not because of the protagonist being a white dude, which we'll get to that in a second. But first, I do want to emphasize this is a game that in the past Electronic Arts has denounced as being a thing of the past, which is why it's so weird it even exists. Remember, Amy Hennig in Visceral Games was developing a game very similar to this, Project Ragtag, a linear Uncharted-like Star Wars adventure, and EA in late 2017 shut the studio down and killed the game, saying in a statement pretty much they were pivoting the game design into a live service because, well, money. Anyway, that project also ended up getting cancelled because the ambitions were too big and the development would take too long. So, for a while now, I've been wondering where we could and would see a single-player story-focused Star Wars game, and we're surprisingly getting that later this year with Respawn Entertainment's Jedi Fallen Order, which Electronic Arts championed on Twitter as never ever getting microtransactions or loot boxes. Like I said, this is just very strange, and as Amy Hennig rightfully pointed out to Eurogamer recently about this tweet, it's odd, I have to be candid with you. I mean, it's coming from the EA Star Wars Twitter handle, so it's certainly part of the plan, but I don't know whether it's implicitly referencing previous comments they made after our project was killed. Anyway, an important reminder is that while Electronic Arts can parade around and act like they are fighting the microtransaction problem with this new game, they are the ones who pretty much created this problem and are still making lots of money off of it with FIFA Ultimate Team. So in all honesty, I just don't trust Electronic Arts not to screw this up in some way, and you better believe the Star Wars games to come, when someone asks Electronic Arts if they will have that same energy about microtransactions and loot boxes beyond Jedi Fallen Order, their reaction is going to look like this.
It's false. No way. Not this time. Not this time. No, not this time. It's totally made up. Pure fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction. We made it up. We made this one up. It's a total fabrication. It never happened. It never happened.
So yeah, at Star Wars Celebration 2019, Lucasfilm and Respawn Entertainment officially revealed Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. They released a trailer which really didn't show off much, it just teased a few parts of the story, the characters. Now while I was not impressed all that much with the trailer, I still very am excited about this game because of the talented studio developing this. Respawn Entertainment has been working on this game before being purchased by Electronic Arts, which may be why this even exists in the first place, but the studio I don't think has launched a bad game before. Both Titanfall games were underappreciated, and Apex Legends is a fun spin on the Battle Royale genre. Now the director of this game is Stig Asmussen, who was game director previously on God of War 3, which was met to universal acclaim all the way back in 2010. The lead writer is Aaron Contreras, who wrote the story of Mafia 3 and was involved in the development of games that include Far Cry 3 and Bioshock Infinite. Good resume. Chris Avellone is also another writer on this game. His experience includes being lead designer and writer of KOTOR 2, one of the best Star Wars games ever, as well as a writer on Fallout New Vegas. So the point I'm trying to make is there's lots of talent involved in this project, including the protagonist Cal Kestis, who is being portrayed by Cameron Monaghan, best known for his roles on the TV show Gotham and Shameless, and I believe he was also in Malcolm in the Middle years ago. What I found most intriguing and interesting about this whole reveal was the actual Star Wars Celebration panel, in which Cameron discussed his excitement for being a part of this.
If I told that kid that he was going to get to swing a lightsaber one day, I think that his brain just would have exploded and leaked out of his ears. It's still kind of leaking out of my ears a little bit right now, I'll be honest. It's really surreal. It's amazing.
Additionally, Jedi Fallen Order's game director Stig Asmussen specifically said why they chose Cameron for the protagonist and what they were looking for, which is a gritty young Clint Eastwood quality.
And he brings this quality. We always talked about we wanted somebody with the kind of this young Clint Eastwood quality. And that's exactly what Cam brings, and that's why you're perfect, Cal.
Thank you.
Now, you would hope the reaction to this would be, let's wait until we see or hear more about Cal before we actually judge the character, because nobody is going to judge someone for the color of their skin and their gender, or even just a few minutes of random story clips, right? Well, if you assume that would be the reaction, you have not been paying attention to how horrible some of these people who claim to be fighting the good fight can be. So yes, this finally brings us to the enormous criticism being thrown at Respawn Entertainment for choosing a quote-unquote generic boring white male protagonist. Yes, yes, a lot of people seem to be angry about this 2 minutes of footage, which really doesn't show much of Cal except for a few random out-of-place story clips, which, as an EA community manager pointed out, the trailer was intended for the casual Star Wars Celebration audience. That's why no gameplay was presented. I mean, come on people, you have me actually defending Electronic Arts. But yeah, let's take a quick dive into some of these reactions. We have a Ubisoft developer saying, "I think we have room for more protagonists who aren't more white dudes. God, even in Battlefront 2 I had to sit through a bunch of levels of not Versio, like the one where Luke Skywalker has to bash a ton of spiders for some reason." But I guess Liz is open to one possibility, which is a white female protagonist, judging off of this reaction tweet. Interesting. Then we have a Game Informer editor commenting, "Can't wait to explore the Star Wars universe as the captain of the swim team in a high school slasher film. Great job there, David. Wonder how the actor feels about this judgmental attitude from games media." Then here we have another games writer mocking the protagonist for being a quote-unquote blandsome white guy protagonist, which after his tweet gets some attention, he makes sure to point out he isn't trying to shade the actor, but I personally think it's a little too late for that. And one of the more hotter takes, a Twitter user says, "I'm gonna say it as it is, fellas, having a white male protagonist in 2019 is a political creative decision, especially for a global franchise, but even for a domestic one. How do I love a world in which people like me don't exist as a community? How do I love a world where black/brown people don't exist at all? What do I assume of majority white science fiction worlds? Ethnic cleansing? Science fiction, acknowledge that you are not lovable. Are we just going to ignore the last Star Wars game which didn't feature a white nor male protagonist? I guess that doesn't matter because some people are always going to complain about everything that doesn't align with their narrative." But another games writer says, "Looks like the new Star Wars game features a white guy protagonist. Ah yes, but he has a black friend. I literally can't imagine a more boring protagonist. LMFAO, how?" And let me just point out that black friend is actually a Jedi Knight who is mentoring Cal, but I guess... yeah, black friend, sure, that's what we'll go with. Then someone else says, "While I'm so glad they're making a narrative single-player Star Wars game, I'm incredibly bummed that the main character is just another white dude. Like, y'all really had Jedi Outcast, you really can't try for something new maybe." And we could keep going through these Twitter posts because there's definitely a few hundred at least, with some people making it blatant that if he's just a straight white guy, that is a problem. On other websites like Kotaku, as you can see in the comment section, some people aren't happy with comments like, "Another white male, no option to play female," and someone followed this up by saying, "Exactly, the movies are getting with the times. Would be cool if they went the Assassin's Creed Odyssey route with a major game like this. Give players a choice." Another commenter saying, "Oh yeah, looking forward to this new Jedi hero generic McMannequin face. Why are they so scared to make him even somewhat unique?" Which I honestly don't know what that means. He's supposed to be young and he's a redhead. Does he need a mustache? I mean, I didn't hear this criticism with Iden Versio. Did she need a mustache? Just a lot of assumptions being thrown around by people, and after the whole Kelly Marie Tran portrayal of Rose mess, it's amazing to see another crowd of people being hateful towards a character and actor because of what they look like. Now finally, arguably the worst gaming forum site, Reset Era, of course, had to get in on this topic, and they certainly made their anger known. This one thread, yet another generic white dude, a legitimate discussion on criticism regarding character design diversity, has over 21 pages, and as you might expect, it's full of comments like the first response, which says, "All I'm gonna say is I laughed when people said don't call him generic. What if the real actor reads your post and cries?" Oh yeah, because that's totally hilarious. But there's many more comments just like that, but let's finally just move on to PC Gamer's very intelligent article titled "Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order's protagonist is such a wasted opportunity." As the writer states, there's a rich, weird, silly, pretty awesome range of alien species out there for Star Wars creators to draw from, invented over decades of movies and books and comics and games, and yet this is the character Respawn has chosen to lead Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Seriously, where have I seen this guy before? Oh yeah, Solo, the Star Wars movie nobody asked for that spelled out a backstory nobody needed to know. Fallen Order's protagonist Cal Kestis looks like a knockoff young Solo, even if he's based on actor Cameron Monaghan rather than Alden, I can't say that guy's last name. To quote executive editor Tyler Wilde, "They chose someone with the personality of a hotel bathrobe," and PC Gamer doesn't want to say it, but they actually do, which is they don't think a white male protagonist was a smart decision. Later in this article, they continue hitting hard on the character and the acting, saying everything is boring, which I have to say, looking at just 2 minutes of footage, that seems extremely judgmental and disrespectful to the actor. As PC Gamer says, the voiceover, "Trust no one, trust only in the Force," is a rote, "see how disillusioned we are" setup. Maybe a brilliant actor could have instilled this script with more desperation or conflict or a tinge of hope, but I watch this and I feel, well, nothing. And just to prove that this article is completely pointless and exists just for hate clicks, PC Gamer Gamer says, what a wasted opportunity. Of course I can't say if Cal Kestis will be a narratively interesting character, we'll only know that in November when Fallen Order is out, but I can say that there were so many visually interesting options that Respawn, EA, and Lucasfilm didn't take here, and it's a damn shame. PC Gamer then continues highlighting alien Star Wars species they wish were chosen instead, and I'm just left wondering, where was this energy with Battlefront 2? It's only an issue now because he's a white dude. But as this article wraps up, PC Gamer brings up Amy Hennig's cancelled Project Ragtag's male protagonist and boldly says, even if the main character Dodger was a roguish Han Solo knockoff, even if he was also a white guy with brown hair, I gotta say he has more personality in his mustache than Cal Kestis has in his whole dang face. And finally, to the closing remarks, I just wish this hero wasn't a Force Unleashed retread with the edgelord knob dialed back 75%. Wow. So I'm not really surprised by this reaction, but it is disappointing. I mean, Cal may end up being a horrible protagonist that is bland, but with the amount of talent on this project, I certainly won't judge the protagonist off of 2 minutes of footage made for a specific Star Wars Celebration audience. I find that idiotic. This could end up being phenomenal, and with the ongoing Sekiro difficulty debate, I have the same opinion, which is respecting the artistic vision. Of course, I think somebody like Ahsoka could have made a great protagonist. That's personally one of the Star Wars characters that I've come to like. I used to hate her in the Clone Wars, but for some reason her character's grown on me with Rebels and such. But going back to the Sekiro point I was just about to make, if From Software doesn't want to implement an easy mode, then that's their decision. If they do, that's their decision. If Respawn wants to go with a young Clint Eastwood-like character, then that's their decision. This is a canon story. Respawn made a character and Cameron Monaghan fit that vision perfectly, as the game director and I believe the producer also said. If only people could respect a vision in a game taking place in a fictional story and world. Anyway, time will tell, but I at the very least will be waiting to see more, including gameplay, which the description of it sounds very exciting. But what do you guys and gals make of this bizarre criticism? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. But thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy this video or found any informative value, and make sure to follow my other social media accounts for updates on new videos. Links are always down in the description below. I'm most active on Twitter, giving opinions on news that I don't always get into video form, so make sure to follow me over there. Also check out my Discord for all sorts of discussion on games. And again, thank you for joining. Consider subscribing for more videos like this, and I'll see you later.